Friction force. There is a sledge on the table and a bucket of water is on this sledge. To lift the bucket, you need the force of 10 kilograms. Now let's see, what force should be applied to move the sledge aside? We're pulling it horizontally by the hook. The force is equal to 1 kilo. 2 kilos, the sledge is still at rest. And 3 kilos, oh, here we go. Is it true that the force needed to move this bucket over the table always equals to 3 kilos? To check this, let's put the bucket on a plastic ice boat pulled by the dynamometer. The force has decreased to 1.5 kilos. While the force we're pulling the sledge with is not too big, the force of static friction is holding the sledge. When we increase the pull, the force of static friction increases too. But it cannot be greater than a certain part of the sledge's weight. When the pull becomes greater than this ultimate force, the sledge begins to slide over the table. While moving, we have to overcome the action of the sliding friction force. If the action of the external force stops, the sliding friction force will break the sledge and stop it completely. We already know that the sliding friction force depends on the character of contacting surfaces. But what else does it depend on? Take a rectangular bar. It weighs 10 units. Put it on a broad facet. To make the bar slide over the table, it is necessary to apply the force of 2 units. So, the sliding friction force is also equal to 2 units. Now put the bar on a long, narrow facet. The sliding friction force is again equal to 2 units. And, finally, put the bar on a small facet. And again, to move it aside, it is necessary to pull an effort equal to 2 units. Thus, the friction force doesn't depend on the area of contact surfaces. Put a can whose weight is 10 units on the bar that weighs 10 units too. Now the friction force is equal to 4 units. Then put one more same can. The friction force has grown to 6 units. The weight of this bar, with the cans put on it, increased. First twice, then thrice. And the friction force also increased twice and thrice. So, the friction force is proportional to the force that presses the bar to the table. Friction force hampers motion, and it seems one can easily and freely move in the world where there is no friction at all. However, on a slippery, frictionless road, a car won't start, brake or turn. Sure, it's great to slide down a nice hill, but in slippery ice weather, we're at risk to fall down at every step we make along. We use the friction force every time when buttoning or putting a cap on. A knot on a rope is fastened due to the friction that occurs when rope coils are pressed to each other. If you pull the other ends of the rope, the knot will be easily untied. A screw connection is also based on the friction force. A nut is easily driven on the bolt, but when it abuts the spacer, its screw thread is pressed to that of the bolt, wedged and held with the help of the friction force. To decrease the friction force, let's put a cargo on the wheels. Now it can be pulled by quite a little effort. The wheels allow us to change the sliding friction for the rolling friction, and they make a big profit in the pulling power.